Hey, welcome back to the channel. It is time for War 9 of the season. Another matchup against NewN. It feels like we've been playing them a lot lately. 3 pretty cool fights here. A nice warm-up against Corvus Glaive. Then my chance for a rematch, redemption against a Mr. Sinister. And then staying on the ebb and flow intercept lane. The third and final fight for me against this Vision. All right, let's get to the show. Okay, so this was a bit of a warm-up fight. There was a little bit of trick to this node with the steady build-up Fury and then the long-distance relationship, in that the long-distance relationship can place those weaknesses, especially if I had been running Suicide. And as you can see, if I get the 3 or more debuffs, he's going to get a pretty big Fury. With that SP2 of his, if you don't time that right. So this fight could go bad. You can see how this could go bad, how if you push him to that SP2 and he's got that Fury, you know, a bad thing could happen. So like I say, there is no easy fight in War. I don't ever want to say that, but there are some that are relatively easy, and I would imagine this should be considered one of the relatively easy ones. Not sure I've ever taken it before, but with Corvus recently getting that hashtag medal, this is going to be a pretty much parry heavy style fight here. Something I've noticed with Magneto, and I've seen other alliance mates kind of say, is it almost feels like sometimes the defender, particularly Darkhawk, goes very passive and they don't want to throw their specials. Maybe that has something to do with the fact that we're just parrying and heavying over and over. Maybe the AI is not sensing they're really in trouble. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to really fully understand that. But I've noticed that with Magneto fights, there's just something kind of strange about him. I feel like it's not unusual to see someone slip up once or twice because Magneto's so tanky. You end up being just fine. But as you see here, we went in. I like the SB2. I knew he was close enough, so why drag that fight out if I don't need to, and just finish it off. So here was my big chance. If you haven't seen it, the worst war experience I've had in, maybe it's just blocking out bad memories here, but I feel like it's maybe been years where I truly had a meltdown. I'm not, I'll say it. And I died to this exact fight. There was exact same placement. I went in with Torch. We needed me to have the Flame On ability for a later fight. And I had died on a really bad fight before, and my BG leader said, like, look, I don't think that's even really on you here. We're gonna take this with a different champion. But I knew I could have played better. And I just had it was bad. Like I couldn't even evade the SP1. I wasn't punishing it. And so I took a little break and I came back and I owned the fight and I soloed it then. Well, I didn't solo it, but I got the one shot there, the 2 shot. And so I was really pumped up to get this fight. Again, you're going to see it's the ebb and flow intercept. They had specifically made it so I would not be taking any other fights with Human Torch afterwards. So they said, just go ahead and use the pre-fight. I offered to take another fight, but they said, no, you're fine, go ahead. And so in knowing that, I'm not even going to worry about intercepting him. If you've seen my war fights for a while, you know that I think that it's almost a bit of a trap, right? Like the protection's not that bad. If you can evade the specials of the champion you're playing, or if you can control their power, or if you just feel confident you can survive, you're going to do plenty of damage. Now I am using Torch's pre-fight here, so that's going to increase the speed of this fight significantly, as opposed to if I did not. But really, we're just going to be getting him to his SP1. We're going to be baiting that. He was happy to throw it. He stands there for so long after he throws that SP1. It's like he hit a home run and he wants to stand there and admire his long ball. And so, you just have plenty of time to punish it. I felt great about that. I see how quickly he's doing damage. As you can see, I know how to bait this SP1. I know how to evade it. I know how to punish it. In fact, I had extreme confidence even going into this fight, into this war. I really feel like I'm back on track. So that feels great. And so this felt good. This felt good. It always feels good. And so rarely do we get to get redemption so quickly. in war against the exact same alliance. This was an incredibly tight war. In fact, before we go any farther, I want to shout out White Mummy, who is responsible for all of my intros and my logo, and I know that he is for so many other content creators out there. And he soloed a war boss. He soloed a war boss in this war, and this war was tight. We'll talk about that more at the end. So moving on to the final ebb and flow intercept there on was this lane 5 in section 2. And then it has the redoubled determination. So if you place that armor break, it could be a bit of a thing. But, with Magneto here, Vision's going to be magnetized. I still want to be aware of that synthesis and potentially throwing him to his SP3. But the thing is even if he went to that, I really doubt that he would take over half of Magneto's life even still. So this is going to be a bit of a parry heavy thing. This is what I've talked about, though. I think there's something about you enter these fights and you just know you have this overpowered option, and the ability accuracy is reduced, but it's really, I think, 70%. So sometimes things trigger and sometimes they don't. And I've just noticed this more and more folks' videos, that it's not unusual to see someone have these perfect fights like I just had with Human Torch, and then they're going to make like a little mistake. They'll make a small mistake here with the Magneto. I'm not sure why it happens. I think you almost just kind of lull yourself into it. Like here, I could have just pushed to that SP3. I happen to like Magneto's SP2, but that wasn't smart. It would have taken me another 10 seconds to get to the SP3 there. And I should have done that. So now I'm like, okay, that was dumb. Why did I do that? Now I've made that kind of small mistake that we're talking about, or that I've been talking about. But again, just managing his power, make sure it's very much a standard Vision fight. Make sure I'm not going to ever get him so close to the third bar of power that he could get pushed to it. You saw the synthesis there, and it got him to the SP2. His SP2 is not tough to evade. And, why screw around? This war was so tight. I think at this point they had died once and we had died twice. So anything was really going to matter. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It's fun playing against NewN, because you're going to get a real tight war if you play well. If you play well, you're going to get a tight war. So went ahead and just went all the way to SP3 because I just did. I went through the SP2 early, and so I decided to just go all the way to SP3, finished off the fight. And so that was my war. It felt good. Like I said, a couple wars back, I really felt like I was back in the swing of things. Felt great. Had that great fight with the R3 Archangel, and got my Doom back. And it just feels good. It feels good to have kind of gone through that and be back playing the way I know I can be playing. So we unfortunately did lose the war. I think the final score was 5-2 or 5-1. I mean, just tight. The NewN played amazingly. So congratulations to them, and congratulations to us. 5 deaths. That is incredible. Congratulations to our MVPs, FaZe. Honestly, just one of the best players in the game. Dreamin', who seems to be back in the upswings to again climbing that best players in the game. Let's call it the Mount Rushmore, and amazing Dragon Man play. It's really cool to see Dragon Man in war, doing all the things he can do, and a player like Dreamin' really knows how to utilize a champion like that. And then recent addition in my BG, Bren, clearly a long time for Lokian, so not new in that sense, but a mid-season addition coming through and already MVP and soloing bosses and doing amazing things. So this was a great war. It was fun to compete in a tight one like that, and I feel like the good things are happening. So thank you so much for watching, and we will definitely catch you next time. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at VegaGaming583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.